I had to kick my girlfriend out of my house because she was scaring my brother. I'd like to start saying that English is not my language. So if I make any mistakes, I would like to apologize beforehand. On to the situation. My girlfriend, 23 female, and I, 24 female, have been together for 2 years now. My family always loved her, and she even had a good relationship with my brother, 16 male, as well. Last year, my brother was diagnosed with a certain disease that almost took his life. My brother always have had a low immune system, which made everything even worse. My brother is still recovering, but in a much better condition right now. Unfortunately, he ended up losing his eyesight in both eyes. Legally speaking, he can be considered blind right now. When social isolation started to happen because of the most recent events, I decided to speak with my parents about how it would be better if my brother lived with me for the time being. My parents agreed happily. They both are essential workers and they wouldn't have much time to stay with my brother, but he's still getting used to his new life as a blind person and still adapting on how to live with it. If he needed help with anything, my parents wouldn't be able to help. And also, because my brother already had a bad immune system, it wouldn't be a good idea for him to live in a house with our parents who would constantly be dealing with patients who may or may not be sick. I can work from home and I also have a lot of free time. So if he ever needs help, I would be more than available to help him. It was a win-win situation. I also invited my girlfriend to live with me. She has had a very good house of her own, but we could be together, so why not, right? Everything was good and fine, but recently I started to notice that my brother became to not be himself anymore. I mean, even with all of this happening with him, he was always cheerful and happy, and always trying to look at the good side in all of this. But recently he started to become more shy and introverted when my girlfriend was around, and I found that strange. Yesterday, I was in my living room reading a book, and my brother was at the kitchen drinking a cup of water. My girlfriend approached him and just said good morning. She got up at almost 7:30 a.m. I noticed my brother get scared. I thought that it was just an isolated incident. She must have caught him by surprise, so I didn't pay much attention to it. But today, I was hearing music while preparing our lunch, and my brother was sitting on the kitchen table talking with me. I noticed someone approaching, and I saw that it was my girlfriend. When she noticed we were hearing music, she started to walk away slowly, as if she didn't want to make a sound. She got behind my brother and quickly held his shoulders and shouted, "Hello there. How are you doing?" My brother said he wanted to be alone and went to his room. I was pissed at her. I asked her what did she think she was doing by scaring him that way. She told me that she's read on the internet and also from her mother that scaring a blind person is a good thing because it makes them more aware of their surroundings. I started to connect the dots and asked her for how long has she been doing that. She told me around 2 weeks, up to 3 times a day if possible, in her words. I was seeing red at the moment. I asked her to never do that again. It didn't take much. It was almost 4 p.m. today and I was watering my garden when I heard my brother shout. When I got back inside, he was shouting to my girlfriend to leave him alone. I ended up getting in a fight with her. I tried every single thing I could to show her that it wasn't okay to do that to a blind person, and she needed to stop or else she wouldn't be able to come back here. She promised me she would never do it again. Tonight I was making dinner and she did it again. I didn't know what to do anymore. We got in a huge fight and I ended up telling her to go back to her house. She argued with me that I was being unfair and she's just trying to help. I still refused to let her stay, and she just went to her house. She's been bombarding my phone the entire night about how it was wrong for me to do that, and that I should have never kicked her out over something so trivial. I haven't been answering, and I don't even know what to do. I feel like I shouldn't have just kicked her out of my house, but I don't feel it would be safe for my brother if she just kept going around scaring him. My brother told me he didn't say anything to me before because he didn't want to cause problems as he was a guest. I don't think she would stop if she came back. She has a history of being a little bit stubborn sometimes, but never something like this that would affect other people. I don't know how to respond to her. Should I let her back to my house, but set some ground rules? Should I not allow her back until my brother is back at my parents' house? Other than this, she was always a loving girlfriend and always treated me and my family with nothing but respect and love. I don't know how to go on from this. Okay, well, I'm just confused as to why she's not listening to you if you tell her that it's not a good idea to scare blind people because you obviously know better than she does. And also, where did the mom get this information? I'm actually so confused because who would ever say that? And then who would keep doing that after being told that they're not supposed to do that? That's like so weird. I feel like I wouldn't even be able to be with this person if you had a talk with her and she still refused to listen. I feel like that was the one chance that she got. And then after that, it's like, I'm not giving you another chance to come and traumatize my blind brother multiple times a day, every day. Like, no thanks. Someone said, do you honestly want to be with someone who thinks it's okay to emotionally traumatize a blind person, especially someone who is recently blind and already dealing with more than enough emotional trauma from that? Your girlfriend is cruel, knowingly, deliberately, maliciously cruel. At the very least, never have her around your brother again, or he'll stop trusting you like he no longer trusts her. But like, why would you ever want to be with someone like that? I would never want to be with someone like that. That's gonna, unless you genuinely thought, like you genuinely believed with everything in you that that was the right thing to do. Like you really thought that that was good for the person. But then it's like, once you talk to this person about it and they still are doing that, it's like you don't care about what's good for this person. You're just being cruel. For what reason? I don't know. Is she like laugh after she does it? Like, what's the point? Or do people just genuinely get off on being that horrible? Okay, this is the update and it's 3 days later. I would like to start by saying that I decided to get in contact again with my girlfriend and I decided to talk to her. Of course, I didn't let her back in my home and I wanted to talk any other place than here. She called me to go to her house. I started by asking her where she got this advice from. She said she saw it on the internet and that said scaring a blind person was a good thing to be done. She was very reluctant to tell me, but when I pressured her a little more, she ended up telling me. Apparently, there's no article, no research, no elaborated study, nothing. The advice she got came from a friend of hers on Facebook, and she just went along with it. She also told me she lied about her mother telling her that. To clarify, her mother is a social worker where we live, so she thought that if she said her mother said that, then it would make her friend's advice a little more credible because she couldn't find an article or a study. I tried to ask her about why she would think that her friend's advice was good when she could do nothing to corroborate it. She didn't even want to answer that. I asked her then why would she ignore me when I told her to stop and kept scaring my brother. She told me that she didn't think I would find it that bad, and if I really loved her, I would just ignore it because she was trying to help, and that she feels that I don't love her because I would choose my brother over her just because now he's crippled, in her own words, on something so trivial, and that he should just grow up and deal with his problems himself. And I, as her girlfriend, should be on her side always. Of course, I was very angry at this answer, and we ended up getting on another fight. In her words, I shouldn't have asked my brother to come live with me. But she said, since I ended up asking, that he should just be quiet and obey and accept what we do because we know better, because we're adults. Before going to her house, I took some people's advice and I decided to ponder about our relationship until that moment. And looking back, I could see a lot of things I believe I didn't want to see at first. First, every single approach on our relationship was taken by me. I wanted a date, I was the one inviting her. I wanted to see a movie, I always had to be the one to invite. I wanted romantic time, I always had to initiate it. Looking back, the entire relationship was one-sided. Second, she doesn't look like she cares much about boundaries from the start. She disregarded every single boundary I've ever had. I never took much action about it because they were small things. I believe that if I had made myself more clear before, it wouldn't get to a point where it would cause problems to my brother. I made a decision. I didn't want to break up, but if we were to continue a relationship, all of this would have to change. I talked with her and told her that I didn't want to break up. But if we were to continue a relationship, she would not be allowed near my brother and wouldn't be welcome to my house when my brother is there. Second, she would have to apologize to him and promise, and this time respect that promise. She would have to say it would never happen again. And third, she would have to go to counseling with me. Those were my terms, and if we were to continue things together, those had to change. She got mad at me, cursed at me, told me I was an idiot to choose my family over her, and that I was crazy to end a relationship over this. I talked with her about those things I mentioned earlier, and she called me stupid, and that this is what a good relationship looks like. Of course, we got into another fight. In the end, she wasn't willing to compromise and make the relationship work. So I decided to end things. Yep, we broke up. Of course, I left her house being called lots of names. I blocked her on both my cell phone and social media. And right now I'm focusing on my brother. It hurts a lot that the person I've been calling the love of my life recently could be that cold, but I guess it was for the better. A lot of you recommended therapy and counseling for my brother. He's already on it. Before coming to my house, he was already on it. I would like to thank you all for the advice. I don't think I would have ever looked back on my own relationship if I hadn't gotten to that point, and I don't think it would be safe to continue that relationship anymore. She already disregarded boundaries with me. I didn't do anything about it, and it got to a point where it ended up affecting my brother, and I feel very guilty for that. Edit, it looks like a lot of people are misreading or didn't see my original post. I am also a woman, and my girlfriend is a woman as well. That is just insane. What? I can't believe people like that exist. That's all I really have to say about that story. Like, people like that truly exist. And please, I would just like to say that if your boyfriend or girlfriend is terrorizing your disabled friend or family member, or any disabled person for that matter, break up with them, please. Please don't give them another chance. The top comment says, I think even your average insensitive asshole would agree that going blind isn't a suck it up and stop whining kind of problem. That's advanced asshole behavior. I mean, yeah, any person with 2 feet and a literal brain cell would know that use your brain and just, realize how hard that would be to go blind and to be blind. And not to mention, like, he hasn't been blind his whole life. He's just figuring things out. He's trying to like navigate being blind after not being blind for his whole life. I can imagine that's probably really hard to navigate when you're used to something and you have to get used to a whole new life. That's just so crazy that she would do that. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.